So we're going to start with, so we got square root secant squared minus 1 divided by square root cosecant minus 1. So we've got squares. Look at Pythagoras. Secant squared subtract 1 would leave me with a tan squared. So this is giving me the square root of tan squared on the top. None of us said the square root of secant squared minus 1 is secant minus 1, did we? No. And cosecant squared minus 1, that looks like a Pythagoras. Cosecant squared subtract 1 would leave me with a cotangent squared. Square root of cotangent squared. So the square root of tan squared is tan. The square root of cotangent squared is cotangent. Now I've got tangent divided by cotangent. How am I going to simplify that? Well, let's look at our definition of cotangent. Cotangent is 1 over tangent. So I've got a tangent on the top. The denominator is 1 over tangent. So fraction in the denominator, I'm going to flip and multiply, which is why I end up with tan squared theta and not tangent theta. Hey, something to notice here. So we'll make another little note to self. Look what happened and how I could have simplified this process. So when I had tangent divided by cotangent, and I gave myself the reciprocal definition for cotangent, it's 1 over tan, and I flipped and multiplied. Do you notice that dividing by cotangent is the same as multiplying by tangent? Dividing by a function is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. Dividing by a function is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. And of course you know that with numbers. Dividing by a quarter is the same as multiplying by 4. Dividing by 3 over 5 is the same as multiplying by 5 over 3. Dividing by cotangent is the same as multiplying by tangent. Dividing by secant is the same as multiplying by cos. Dividing by cosecant is the same as multiplying by sine. So sometimes that will simplify your work. And because we've already made note of this, you could go from here to here in one step and skip out this and then the flip and multiply. Try this one. It's virtually the identical setup. The square root of 1 minus sine squared divided by the square root of 1 plus tan squared. Right, that is a single